Yeah. Right, right. Okay. I know. Is this allowed? Yeah. That's why it's really fun. Yeah. Okay, you're welcome. Yeah.
Things,
And one thing called.
And on your. Yeah. and they- Yeah. I just feel like it's-
That was the truth.
That was that. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, God. I guess fucking broke money. Fucking it's hard. No. Fucking close. It's no. It was something. It was all good check. Like. Wrong. Oh. Oh. Oh, that's I'll say, so like, I'm literally this happened. I was like, Southville and I say that, but. Yeah.
And what's something that can be up with the option back for us is.
All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our July 23rd, 2025 meeting of order. Good morning. This public meeting of the Philadelphia Board of Pensions and Retirement is being conducted in person in the board's conference room at the board on the 16th floor of 2 Kent Center. Pursuant to section 21-1503 of the Philadelphia Code, electronic recording for this meeting will be made through Microsoft Teams conference technology and by an audio recording. Electronic recording will be made available to the public online on the board's website without charge within 10 days. Please note that you consent to such recording by attending, participating, or speaking at such meeting. I'll also like to note that one of our trustees, Brian Conklin, is on Microsoft Teams joining us remotely today for the record. Morning, Brian. This is confirming you can hear us.
Yeah, Jackie, I can hear you. Thank you.
Thank you. The first order of business is a motion to adopt the rules of order the board has approved and used for our in-person public meetings that are electronically recorded. The purpose is to help ensure that accurate and complete audio and audiovisual recordings of the meeting occur to comply with our code requirements. A motion to adopt these procedures for today's meeting was made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll go to the roll. Brian?
I approve.
Sheila? I approve. Marcia? I approve. Karen? Paul? Andrea? Approve. Willie?
Approve.
And Carol? Approve. Motion carries unanimously. Moves us to item 2, approval of the meeting minutes from our June 26th meeting. Motion was made and properly seconded. Hearing no discussion, we'll go to the roll. Brian?
I approve.
Sheila? Marcia? Approve. Tara? Paul?
Approve.
Andrea? Willie?
Approve.
Carol? Approve. Motion carries unanimously. Item 3, motion to approve this consideration of 112 pension applications and 28 withdrawal applications was made and properly seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. Brian?
I approve.
Sheila? Marcia? Tara? Paul?
Approve.
Andrea? Willie?
Approve.
Motion carries unanimously, and that moves us into section 4 and case 4A. The motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Orlando T. Cleveland is made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 4A? Hearing none. Brian?
Deny.
Sheila? Marcia?
Deny.
Tara? Paul? Andrea? Willie? And Carol?
Deny.
Motion fails 0-8. Case 4B, a motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Elizabeth Aguayo was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on case 4B? Hearing none. Brian?
Deny.
Sheila? Marcia? Tara? Oh, I'm sorry. You're right, Carl.
Yeah, I did have a question I wanted Jack to explain, but about this case, but I was.
A clarification. Sure, why don't we go back and
Sorry.
that one? Yes. I'll recognize Carol.
Yeah, so the clarification is that, if you look at the date that she retired and the day she applied, she's beyond 1 year. So there's nowhere in here that this that it was an administrative request to do beyond 1 year, or is it? What's the process now?
Yeah, it should be word administrative, should be an application, but it's an administrative application because the person who still works, then it turns into an administrative application. Smooths all the process. So yes, it's an administrative application. It's not a beyond.
So is that they all people that receiving workers' comp, if they receive the
They all
copy,
receive work.
it turns to the
Come in and apply for their pension. The code requires them to be transferred to service connected disability application.
Okay.
And that's what we call it, an administrative application. If they didn't specifically apply for the service connected, or for their service pension, the code requires them to be transferred to a service connected.
and her applying them a year later don't have anything to do with it. Beyond the 1 year.
Each one we find out that they don't receive.
Okay.
Any other questions, Carol? or is that-
Yes, I think we need to have some more information about that, because I remember probably before, even if they was receiving workers' comp, but maybe that was the settlement of workers' comp, and they applied beyond 1 year, that caused the problem.
We always receive workers' comp. Causes the application for a service pension to be transformed into an application for certain disability. That's in the code. That's clear. You don't always know the timeframe for workers' comp. So it can be beyond 1 year, and 1 year at any time. If that's the exact language of the code, anyone who submits an application for a service pension and is or has received workers' compensation, the application shall be transmitted into an application for service disability. Reason is to prevent people from collecting two different benefits for the same injury for the same period of time.
But sometimes they don't make a settlement, like they may not settle with workers' comp.
Whether they settle or
or
not, it's receipt of workers' comp. Settle the case for a lump sum or not.
Okay, I'll take it.
Thanks for that clarification, Brian. To restate them, the motion was made to approve application 4B. Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll go back to the roll call. Brian?
We're on 4B, Jackie.
4B, yes.
Okay, deny.
Sheeta? Marcia?
Deny.
Tara? Paul? Andrea? Willie? And Carol?
Same.
The motion failed 0-7 with one abstention noted. 4C, a motion to approve service connected disability benefits for Dennis C. Relief was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 4C? Go to the roll. Brian?
Deny.
Sheeta? Marcia?
No.
Tara? Paul? Andrea? Willie?
Deny.
Carol?
Deny.
Motion fails 0-8. Case 4D, a motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for David Stewart is made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 4D? Hearing none. Brian?
Deny.
Sheeta? Marcia? Kara? Paul? Andrea? Willie? Carol?
Deny.
Motion fails 0-8. Case 4E, a motion to approve service connected disability benefits for Maura Brown was made and properly seconded. Any questions on 4E? Brian?
Deny.
Sheeta? Marcia? Tara? Paul? Andrea? Willie?
Deny.
Carol?
Deny.
Motion fails 0-8. Case 4F. You approve service connected disability benefits for Timothy Bryant was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 4F? Hearing none. Brian?
I approve.
Sheeta? Marcia?
Deny.
Tara? Paul? Andrea? Willie? And Carol?
Approve.
The vote was 4-4. As chair, I'll vote to deny, and so the motion fails 4-5. Case 4G, a motion to approve the service-connected disability benefits for Joseph R. Zappiel was made and seconded. Any discussion on 4G?
Just on 4G,
Yes.
one of the doctor's reports he refers to Zephyr as Mr. On the bottom of the first page,
Which report is that?
the B for 4G, and on the bottom of number 4. You know, Zephyr is 49 years old, and 23 years in the service. And Mr. McHugh separated effective April 18.
We stopped it. We stopped. Which doctor?
Oh, no, I'm saying on the bottom, I'm sorry, not the doctor. It's on the bottom of the first page, bottom of the administrative.
Oh, in the summary.
In a summary on the bottom, it's to me, you.
All right here. Oh, wrong name.
Wrong name was used.
There's a paragraph on the bottom of the first page.
Yeah,
The third sentence, third to the last paragraph.
yeah, you see that, that's not, my apologies, that is a typo, that was obviously the carryover paragraph, so should occur, but this was all about the information about the receptacle was all accurate.
Thank you for flagging that.
So we'll get that person to write down.
We'll make that adjustment to correct the name. Any other discussion on 4G before we vote? Hearing none, Brian,
deny,
Sheeta, Marcia,
Deny.
Karen, Paul, Andrea, Willie, and Carol.
Deny.
Motion fails 0-8. Case 4H, a motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Michael Iphone was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 4H? Hearing none, Brian,
deny,
Sheeta, Marcia,
Deny.
Sarah, Paul, Andrea, Willie, and Carol.
Deny.
Motion fails 0-8. Case 4I, a motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Michael Lucia was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 4? Any discussion on 4I? Carol,
So when,
hearing none. Brian,
4I, right, Jackie? It's 4I, I approve.
Sheeta, Marcia,
Deny.
Tara, Paul, Andrea, Willie, and Carol. Motion carries 5-3. Case 4J, a motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for James Meyer Jr. was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 4J? Hearing none. Brian,
Deny,
Rita, Marcia,
Deny.
Tara, Paul, Andrea, Willie, and Carol.
Deny.
Motion fails 0-8. For K, motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Timothy McHugh was made and properly seconded. Any other discussion on 4K? Hearing none. Brian,
deny,
Sheeta, Marcia,
Deny.
Tara, Paul, Andrea, Willie, and Carol.
Deny.
Motion fails 0-8. Case 4L, the motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Joan Palmer was made and effective. Any discussion on L? Hearing none. Brian,
deny,
Sheeta, Marcia,
Deny.
Kara, Paul, Andrea, Willie, Carol. Motion fails 0-8. Case 4M, a motion to approve service connected disability benefits for David Parzies was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 4M? Hearing none. Brian,
deny,
Sheeta, Marcia,
Deny.
Kara, Paul, Andrea, Willie, and Carol. Motion fails 0-8. Case 4N, a motion to approve service connected disability benefits for Edgar Brito was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 4N? Hearing none. Brian,
deny,
Sheeta, Marcia, Tara, Paul, Andrea, Willie, and Carol. Motion fails 0-8. Case 4O, a motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Pete Smith was made and properly seconded. Any questions on 4O? Brian,
deny,
Sheeta, Marcia,
Deny.
Tara, Paul, Andrea, Willie.
No.
Motion fails 0-8. Case 4P, a motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Paul G. Solak was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on case 4P?
Yes. Consider this one finished straight to a hearing. Cannabis doctor. Use language, he attributed the injury to the incident, but still made it.
There, second on request for the revised motion. For 4P, a revised motion was made to send this case to a hearing panel. Any discussion? Hearing none. Brian,
I approve.
Sheeta, Marcia, Sarah, Paul, Andrea, Willie, and Carol.
Approved.
The revised motion carries unanimously. Case 4Q, a motion to approve service-connected disability benefits for Frank J. Turco III was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 4Q? Hearing none. Brian,
Deny.
Sheeta, Marcia, Sarah, Paul, Andrea, Willie, Carol.
No.
Motion failed 0-8. Case 4R, a motion to approve service-connected disability benefits for James J. Griffin was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on case 4R? Hearing none. Brian,
Deny.
Sheeta, Marcia,
Deny.
Tara, Paul, Andrea, Willie, motion fails 0-8. Case 4S, a motion to approve service-connected disability benefits for Donna E. Duncan was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 4S? Hearing none. Brian,
Deny.
Sheeta, Marcia,
Deny.
Tara, Paul, Andrea, Willie, Carol. Motion fails 0-8. For T, motion to approve service-connected disability benefits for Rodius K. Waitman was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 14? Hearing none. Brian,
Fine.
Yeah, deny. 4T.
Brian?
14.
Yeah, I'm here. Deny.
Okay. There it is.
Thanks, Carol. Rashida, Marshall,
Deny.
Tara, Paul, Andrea, Willie, Carol.
Nah.
Motion fails 0-8. Case 4U, a motion to approve the service-connected disability benefits for Wilfred A. Baker was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 4U? None. Brian,
I approve.
Sheeta, Marcia,
Deny.
Tara, Paul, Andrea, Willie, and Carol.
Approved.
The vote was 4-4. As chair, I'll vote to deny, and so the motion fails 4-5. Case 4B, a motion to approve service-connected disability benefits for Robert Hamilton was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 4B? Brian,
I approve.
Rashida, approved. Marcia,
Approved.
Tara, approved. Paul,
Approved.
Andrea, approved. Willie,
Approved.
and Carol.
Approved.
Motion carries unanimously. Case 4W, a motion to approve service-connected disability benefits for Charles Calloway was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 4W? Hearing none, we'll go to the roll. Brian,
Deny.
Sheeta, Marcia,
Deny.
Tara, abstain. Paul, Andrea, Willie, and Carol.
Deny.
The motion fails 0-7, one extension noted. Case 4X, a motion to approve service-connected disability benefits for Francis Cliff was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 4X? Brian,
Deny.
Sheeta, Marcia,
Deny.
Tara, Paul, Andrea, Willie, Carol.
Deny.
Motion fails 0-8. Case 4Y, a motion to approve the service-connected disability benefits for Albert Gillimer was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on Y? Hearing none. Brian,
I approve.
Sheeta, Marcia,
Deny.
Carol, Paul. Andrea. Billy. And Carol. Yeah. Motion carries 5-3. Case 4Z, motion to approve service connected disability benefits for Jonathan Grant was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 4Z? Hearing none. Brian?
I approve.
Sheila? And none. Marcia? Sarah? Paul? Andrea? Billy? Carol? Motion carries 5-3. Case 4AA, the motion to approve connected disability benefits for Carmen Django Ogawa, was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 4AA? Hearing none. Brian?
I approve.
Rashida? Marcia? Tara? Paul?
Approve.
Andrea? Willie? And Carol? The vote was 4-4. As chair, I will vote to deny, and so the motion fails 4-5. Case 4BB, a motion to approve service connected disability benefits for Brian D. Kehoe was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 4BB? Hearing none. Brian?
Deny.
Sheila? Marcia? Tara? Paul? Andrea? Willie? Carol? Motion failed 0-8. And our last case is in this section 4CC. The motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Alicia Y. Vino was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 4CC? Hearing none. Brian?
Deny.
Sheila? Marcia? Tara? Paul? Andrea? Willie? And Carol? Motion fails 0-8. That moves us into old business in case 5A. Motion to approve service connected disability benefits for Gerald Ashley was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 5A? Hearing none. Brian?
Deny.
Rashida? Marcia? Sarah? Paul? Andrea? Willie? And Carol? Motion fails 0-8. Case 5B, a motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Thomas A. Dixon Jr. was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 5B? Hearing none. Brian?
Deny.
Sheila? Marcia? Tara? Paul? Andrea? Willie? And Carol? Motion failed 0-8. Case 5C, motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Constance B. Perkins was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 5C? Hearing none. Brian?
I approve.
Rashida? Marcia? Sarah? Paul? Andrea? Willie? And Carol? Motion carries unanimously. And 5D, a motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Christopher Brown was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 5D? Hearing none. Brian?
Deny.
Sheila? Marcia? Tara? Paul? Andrea? Willie? And Carol? 5 Motion fails 0-8. That moves us into new business on the executive director. Morning.
Senior auditor, regarding our entrance hours, to collection of lines, and that's we take off the state audit. The process update pension payroll and other business processes. We have every finance department, everybody's going to be hired. The finance department dedicated to pension payroll, assigned to the board of pensions to oversee the project and coordinate with not only the staff, but with the some working with the trustees, HR, payroll, in order to proposed ideas for an improved pension payroll system. So that will close it and work seamlessly with all the other items that we are going to use for jobs such as payroll and HR information. So that's exciting time. It will not be part of one building. It will work, it will ensure that it works with one building to make sure that we can get to the that's the end user. And we're excited about that. We're excited that the subset of trustees will be involved in the course of the full board will course on an ongoing basis. We don't want any surprises. We want everyone to know what's going on, how to progress, and how to go. So we're excited about that, especially now in a time of enhanced technology, which may be able to assist us. So that's good. And that includes something that Carolyn mentioned the other day, that we're working on, is the use of DocuSign to for ease members in the application process. We've had several meetings over the past 4 to 6 months on the use of that with the vendor or salesperson or DocuSign that works with other city agencies. So we're going to try to incorporate that and other technologies dealing with the pension payroll system. So it's exciting times for that. The trustee election, thank everyone for submitting their petitions and their interest in the fund and continuing to work on the fund and improve the health of the fund. Very impressive. Any questions that anyone has, please contact Johnson. The voting period is later in the year, so that's going to provide that information.
Yes, actually, the candidates that submitted petitions, we contacted on before August 1st, let them know whether or not the petition were accepted. August 29th is the final day for candidate withdrawal. The ballot draw, the ballot petition draw will be on September 2nd here at the board's offices. And then the ballots will be mailed out starting September 19th. The voting period will be September 19th through October 22nd. And then on October 9th, it'll be in-person ballot count here at the board's offices. The winning candidate will be announced.
And one final thing is I received an email this morning, that I believe last night, Pew Charitable Trust, and it's a invitation to their state of the city brief. They've already published, so I was able to still publish it. And the 2 dates for that are August 11th, August 14th, 2 different sessions. I wanted to point out the entity is 118 pages overall look at the city contents, big picture, education, government, health, housing, jobs, and the economy, public safety, transportation, infrastructure, environment, and some credits at the end. Then the government section on page 28 is the first thing in the government section. As in 2024, the city of Philadelphia received an A+ credit rating from S&P Global Ratings, its highest standing in 4 years, due in large part, not in part, in large part to the much improved fiscal status of its municipal pensions. The city reported that its pension funds were 65.4% funded in fiscal 2024, up from 44.8% in 2016, and on track to reach full funding in 2033, which would allow the city to spend more on our priorities. The city's higher credit rating will also help lower borrowing costs in the future. And also, the next page, it also gives the chart of the funding level for the pension fund from that time, and also talks about the share obligation of that on the city contributing more money than the employees, the members contribute, and gives credit to everyone. So we should all be very proud of this, as should the municipal unions. Right? We sacrifice for this. The city administrations that we've been working with over the past couple, and staff and consultants. So everyone has a piece in this, but it's great that Pew is going to give these briefings and that they put this front and center of one of their government sessions. That's really a good tribute to work on that. Congratulations. That's it. Oh, yeah, one other thing, well, in one second, we'll do that. There is we do have, you see the report of the educational center, materials. There's also the, NC PERS is having their, call for speakers for they're calling it Voice of Public Pensions. You can see that in the materials. Anyone's interested in that, interested in possibly making a presentation or speaking, let us know for all the instructions for that. Sharon had a good story to tell. So if the board would like, also maybe staff to get involved, I think the time is right for us to be able to make presentations on the success story that this one has been. So, if you want to do that, we can talk about that also.
So we need to make a motion and let, anyone want to be applied to speaker to go, or is it just?
Yeah, I can come up with you. Why don't you put that, John? So
For the travel portion.
okay, yeah, because it could be a travel portion of the seminar. So that the emotions probably a good call.
I make a motion that, anyone including that's interested in become the speaker, and the speaker on behalf of us, be allowed.
Second.
Executive, yeah, Paul.
Motion made and properly seconded, regarding the MC firms, attendance and travel, any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Any other new business?
And Fred, I think last time we did the NC HR, that's what we did on that.
Okay, that was approved.
Okay.
All right, motion to adjourn, or I'm sorry, litigation summary, Alan, any notable updates? No. Motion to. She asked if they were notable. Any updates you'd like to share? Okay. A motion to adjourn was made and properly seconded, and we'll move into the paper and account portion. Sure.
Okay, so back. So. They'll go there first. You can. Let's give you. You need to. Right. I said, I'm going to.
We're so excited.
Yes. Oh, dang it. I'm like, about to enter the building. And it's about to.
Right.
I was right.
We know you.
Right, right. The rest of the cases.
All right, again, we'll start the deferred compensation portion. The first item is approval of our June meeting minutes. Motion was made and properly seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. Christie. Brian.
I approve.
Francois.
Approved.
Marcia. Yeah. Karen. Paul. Lily. And Carol. Let's listen to the plan update and activity report.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Deferred compensation plan assets as illustrated was $2,199,016,732. It's about 2.8% increase from the month of May. Plan participants 27,435. That's an increase of 138 more participants than balances. Participants that are actively contributing is 20,694. That's 96 more than month of May. New enrollments received in June was 235. In the 401 plan, the plan assets have increased to $5,053,512, which is about 3.3% increase. Participant count is 1,444. That's 6 less than the month of May due to 2 separations and 4 that transferred out their dollars. Philadelphia Parking Authority, 663 participants with 3 new enrollments, and the PHDC, which is the Housing Development Corporation, 49 participants, 1 new enrollment. Regarding the ROC balances, we are now at 108.9 million, which is about 6% increase in the month of May. And in terms of participants, 9,546, that's 173 more, with about 35% utilization. In terms of percentage contributions, it's 3,405 participants, 109 more again there, and 16% participants are actually leveraging the percentage option. 3,237 calls received. It was a drop of 15 less than the month of May. And in terms of participants with online accounts, it's now up to 21,880, which is about 80% of participants which have an account balance having online account. In the end of June, we had run from May 1 to June 30th, the Retired Youth, thanks to our board trustees and staff, for the opportunity to do a completely interactive experience. This was on for all participants to leverage and learn more about deferred compensation plan. For the first time in 3 years, there were 4,855 unique participants, which is the highest that we have ever achieved in terms of visitors. And 16,412 participants actually engaged with all the unique activities for the learning of via video, enrolling, or going to different media centers. I just wanted to highlight that it closed at the end of June and get outstanding results. Thank you. If there are no further questions for me, I'm going to pass it on to Matt Branham. We'll talk about the service activity.
Thank you. Good morning. Just a review for service activity for June. There were 22 group events and workshops, various virtual and in-person locations with a total attendees of 575. There were 8 total new employee orientations, attendees, 265 attendees. Of those, 211 were not enrolled in the plan, but we did achieve 95 enrollments in the plan through the new employee orientations. Don, our CFP, provided 3 webinars. See the results there. 82 attendees for the Women in Retirement, 66 attendees for Personal Finance 101, 91 attendees for Another Retirement, which is our Roth presentation.
Any questions for the information? Let's listen to the third item, the Cooperative Investment Trust. That's what it was about.
Morning, everyone. You see two, documents, in your presentation books. The first is an updated opinion from the law department on collective collection trust, and then the second, the recent article from Benefits Magazine, giving different collective trust. Just as a reminder, this is an issue that Burnett staff have looked at going back to 2021 and 22. And essentially, it's a discussion of whether or not collective investment trusts are an appropriate vehicle for plan participants to make their investments. We asked the law department to go back and we did so in part because the adoption of CIPs has become even more pronounced in the past several years. We can see the law department since Morningstar and a couple of different other sources how CIPs now hold 30% of all assets in DC plans. And while the increasing popularity of the lower cost should not be dispositive for the board's decision, it's something that we can take into account. Essentially, the main differences between the collective investment trusts, traditional mutual fund, and lower fees traditional to the CITs. But on the legal or regulatory side, the main issue is that while mutual funds are more subject to SEC oversight, collective investment trusts are subject to different rules and are overseen by the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency. There are also different, perhaps less onerous standards on transparency, CIT. Although many of the companies who are offering CITs are going above and beyond the minimum requirements. We also asked the law department to look at concerns around litigation, both for using or not using them. Obviously, we've seen continued pressure against more than 800 cases on excessive fees have been filed against leasing plans since 2008. And so that has driven some of the exodus from mutual funds and collective investment trusts. On the flip side, we can run into litigation risks if you're not careful, rush into the adoption of the collective investment trust without any searches for without considering the risks and those structures. Law goes on to review the fiduciary duty standards, includes that market reality, case law, regulatory environment, gave a thorough consideration of CRTs. I would note that for our plan, there are multiple investment options that we have currently, both Vanguard, life cycle funds, 2 or 3 other options. Harder, which are going to be more popular options. A couple of the other funds to offer a CIT option. In reviewing the law department opinion, I think what makes the most sense, in my opinion, is a fund by fund comparison of the mutual fund option side by side with the CIT to reduce the fees, transparency, the valuation, all the other concerns side. How many, if any, of the CIT options are appropriate. We could do that through a more detailed staff report. And we think this is important because whether or not the board ultimately decides to offer any CIT, I think it's important to have a cost record trail of what that decision. So that if there is question around this or some sort of discussion of the open bus rendered up for one that's getting by the city and by the trustees. I think a couple of folks have talked about the grants of that. Some committee, which we did. It's not sure, Dan, in my opinion, very good job on this update. It's a question.
Any questions?
Yeah, I do think a something, yes,
Yes.
I don't like, you know, if I do something,
Yeah.
going back to the show. These issues are uncommon.
So we didn't send out an email, like today, this week, soliciting. That's what.
Yeah, so at the subcommittee, or is that when they're gonna do the side by side comparison for the
That will put together a detailed report. Mutual funds that we have, the ones that have CIT options, the fees for the reporting, evaluation, all these things. Because again, it's perfectly possible that the board decide that a CIT from one company is appropriate, but from another is not. And so we'll see that in detail. And so
And all the party, thank you. It's hard for that. Really, really good guidance on that.
Thank you, Dan.
no. Not that I'm trying to disavow anything. It's an excellent note.
Well, yeah, I just reviewed.
Thanks for your review.
Brian, 10 minutes. Okay?
Gotcha, thank you.
Hi, Brian.
I felt like everyone.
I'm just
Hello,
gonna mute. I'm gonna mute during
during the break,
the break,
okay,
okay? All
I
right,
appreciate it, thank you.
okay.
You call the investment committee session. So the first item is approval of the June investment committee meeting. Is there a motion? I move the.
He looking at me, so.
Wait, there's a second. Probably second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carried. Agenda item 2 is the investment board.
Morning, thank you, Rob. Strong month for the pension plan in June and solid fiscal year. As of the end of June, plan was up 2.6% net for the month. That basis points ahead of its benchmark. 12% return preliminarily for the fiscal year. So the lag private equity numbers.
Do we have any comparisons for that? The other funds?
The only other fund, US based public fund that we've seen reported so far is CalPERS, they were 11.6.
The last side is better.
A lot of other funds should start reporting summer. That's it. Continue to see the spread between the benchmark on positive tighten over the longer time periods. See, ahead about 5 years, pretty close for 7.
That was our goal, right? Yeah.
Correct. We will, we talked about gas out in September. Estimates for yesterday will come out later today. Through the 15th of July, down slightly for the month, about 28 basis points, the benchmark. And also note, they will discuss the RRP in a few minutes. Cash balance out this morning was more. Still hanging out for 1.18%. Just a few things that we're keeping an eye on as we move into the new fiscal year. Inflation continues to be a concern, holding steady above the Fed's 2% target. A lot of discussion on whether the Federal Reserve will cut rates before the end of the year. Markets still pricing in 2 cuts. We'll see if that happens. There's also obviously going to continue to all call it drama surrounding the Federal Reserve. Read discussion from the administration about terminating the Fed chair's term early, so it's still smarter in May 2026. As the last few days, that seems to have, at least for the president, that talk seems to have died down. Still monitoring the tariffs and trade. There was a deal last week, announced in the Philippines, and this morning. Also, staff becoming concerned about whether the equity markets have been or really are stage. We're seeing just at the last couple of days, the meme stocks start to really be an issue again. And so by those, I mean stocks that seem to be rising for no concern. Old Krispy Kreme, GoPro. Some of them GoPros up this last level, nearly 50% today. Krispy Kreme was up 25% this morning, it was up 27% yesterday. And other than discussions on social or Reddit message boards, that seems to be fueling it. Also, there,
Is that kind of contained to
for now. It seems to be clustered around stocks that are heavily shorted because it drives what they call short squeeze and try to force folks who need to cover that have gone short. Uh, But the concern is anytime you see like this kind of activity, lends credence to the idea that the numbers are not what's driving everything. And there's probably some anecdotal evidence to suggest that the rise of Bitcoin is at high of $123,000, 117 this morning, so it's that value has gone up. You kind of wonder if some of the speculation and money is, tied together. Then just, the last couple of things, obviously, the full implications, economic implications of the congressional bill around the taxes. Economics not fully understood yet. And then just continue to see, signs of geopolitically of these sort of ceasefire over end of the war with Ukraine, so it continues to be geopolitical concerns. Dave will discuss Mackenzie and the ROP, but besides that, no actionable concerns on any of the managers. We'll note a couple of the smaller cap domestic managers have struggled a little bit in the short term of fear and earnest, primarily related to talking about stocks that are more speculative, not going to be part of their portfolio, what they do. So
It's just probably a good thing, right?
yeah, so making sense to us that they're trending short term, their long term numbers, but that's still at the benchmark since inception. We still have the local low search. We're going to do candidates starting polls later this month. Both those managers were ahead of their benchmark this month. MFS 5.8 basis points. And then the real estate managers, the open end for real estate managers, both had a really positive quarter. Trumbull was up 3%, just 130 basis points ahead of the benchmark. Clarion was up 4%, 70 basis points ahead of the benchmark. Whether or not that represents kind of a bottoming of a certain portion of the real estate market, still to be determined, but nevertheless, to see those this particular state and moving in the right direction. Happy to take questions on any of the other managers, if not, run through detailed discussion on Mackenzie. Additional investments with regard to
Good. All right. Yeah, everybody. So the issue was just going to check items, sort of a re-evaluation for a temporary implementation of Mackenzie. One of our non-US cap managers has underperformed over the trail by close to 50%. We have a detailed demo in the packet. Non-US small cap is one area of the market where there is a significant amount of inefficiency in the managers and stretch value. They are investing primarily in small companies with a market capitalization of between $2 and $5 billion, primarily across non-US developed markets. There should be an appetite for additional alpha and additional excess return. And unfortunately, we haven't seen that over the course of the last 12 months. Now, they've certainly demonstrated over the years on a calendar year basis excess return, but they've been partially challenged by some of the more macroeconomic themes, particularly in Japan, where we've seen US dollar valuation relative to the Japanese yen and some other macroeconomic factors that have impacted us. We certainly don't think it's time to reverse course on Mackenzie yet, but additional scrutiny over the rest of the year is certainly warranted. But again, this is an area of the market where we do think active managers can extract value. We are heavily indexed across US large cap, US mid cap, and developed market equity. We think a manager like Mackenzie can add some value with what's in the fiscal market over the course of the last 12 months.
What would they monitor? What would they continue to monitor them? Bad. Okay, it's not good. Take some attention.
Yeah, for an asset class like non-US small cap, I think a long amount of growth is needed to see performance over multiple market cycles. And it's, they are stock pickers. They are trying to identify companies that have return on invested capital, attractive valuation relative to market price during periods of massive macroeconomic dislocation and uncertainty like we've experienced this year. It's not unusual for challenges to occur. I think we're able to move away from some of this policy shock encountered in the better part of 2025. That should give us a better perspective on
Years from now.
Wait, I'm sorry, 40 years, yeah, exactly. So we'll pay by the word. So 4 years is exactly what I meant.
Impact on the rate. They pick this up and impact on it.
Yes, it should. So tariffs have introduced a significant amount of uncertainty to all investment managers, all companies that are in their universe, the universe of other managers. And it really requires investment managers and the underlying companies to be more flexible and nimble in the way that they manage their businesses, the way that they manage their logistics, their supply chains. And if managers and underlying companies alike aren't focused on that, they do run the risk under. And they are, McKinsey, like most managers, are very to the impacts of tariffs and policy shock in their security selection. And that's why we certainly recommend a little bit more time. We don't yet know what the outcomes are. We don't yet know what the path of inflation will be, what the path of the U.S. consumers worldwide will be. And I think it would benefit all of us to have a little bit more clarity on some of those macroeconomic themes that we should learn over the course of the next 3 or 4 months in our inflation, unemployment, spending, and in all likelihood, that's when we'll see U.S. Fed probably reduce rates by the September or October.
Those are companies. But they're doing what we expect.
That's exactly right. They haven't pivoted from that. They do run what I would describe as a more concentrated portfolio, call it 70 or 100 stocks. And with a more concentrated portfolio, inevitably you are going to see some performance tracking, which is why we should have a longer time horizon, especially in evaluating the end of this. The RP, again, a brief memo in the packet. And the recommendation here for the rest of the quarter is to reallocate $155 million to cash into our fixed income allocation. And this really does follow part of our portfolio and our policy and portfolio discipline. They're structurally underweight fixed income, largely as a result of ripping equity markets. It makes sense to just reallocate and build back up our fixed income allocation. As Chris just mentioned, we have seen sort of very rich equity market valuations. We're coming into the time of the year we historically see some level of pullback. Reallocating to equity as an example would be reallocating to an overvalued asset class and an asset class that's overweight or aligned with policy versus fixed income where we are underweight. When we think about cash versus more fixed income, cash still a very attractive yield, but in all likelihood you'll see 1 or 2 rate reductions bring down the interest rate on cash. By contrast, we are observing a more attractive term premium, meaning that we're earning more money on the long rate of the curve, and this will allow us to capture higher yield for a relatively safe asset class like this.
And can you talk a little bit how we decided among the managers?
Generally based on weight and overall sort of safety. I mean, each one of these managers are managed to core fixed income or intermediate fixed income, so a limited amount of risk. Garcia Hamilton, intermediate government fixed income, and our intermediate government fixed income manager, that's going to have the least amount of variation. Brandywine is one of your best performing managers over the course of the last year, largely as a result of currency benefits and valuation of the US dollar. But generally, we are trying to be weight conscious across all of these managers. So the first 2 in the memo, Garcia Hamilton and Rutline, will generally follow
capture respiratory characteristics of the underlying index. The other three managers have more of a sector bias. It should add additional alpha for credit and sector rotation.
Any other questions? It's currently great. Thank you.
In terms of staff report, $194 about $319. North of 886,000 calendar year completed. 56.2 since the program started. Diverse and local AUM combined 61.2%. Diverse managers. Category 51. Philadelphia and surrounding counties just under the next three board meetings, we remind you of the August meeting, September, we've got the board.
Yes. I was wondering, we were looking at updating our policy as it relates to AI.
We did, we were trading about there. So sorry about that. Yeah, no, we thought it was a good question. We had a couple real brief initial email exchanges with Ken. And I think that staff and kept looking at the RPS. Meeting legislative similar, so we did yes. So yeah.
Do we need to also look at the ideas or like update and make a change, things that,
We can do that at the same time, like just, staff does it on a regular basis, certainly no less than annually, but we can review the IPS broadly. Suggest changes to that same committee and also talk about it. That's set something up for that. Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah. The board session. Their motion to adopt.
Second.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.